So you have a lot of people doubting whether or not Tesla is going to succeed, and it's been kind of heartbreaking to see a company that's trying to innovate so much, yet there's so many people that really don't believe in the company. However, today Tesla reported earnings and they soared tremendously, almost 10% after hours. If we look at the stock here, we had laid out a nice chart yesterday and the day before about Tesla really being oversold and that we would see it push up. At the end of today, we saw it push up 10%. I was able to trade TSLL, which is the leveraged Tesla shares. Let me make sure you guys can see okay. All right. And this is a trade that I made very shortly just to put me up about 1.1% on the day. I didn't make 12% that Tesla went up or 24% that TSLL went up. I just capitalized after earnings, after we saw it push up. I caught a swing here, ended up buying and selling TSLL today. Again, we're up 1.1% on the day. So how do we know that this was going to happen? Well, we didn't. We actually were just looking at the technicals, and then the earnings were the catalyst to really push it. Do we believe it's going to continue in the direction that it's going? I do. If we look on the 1 year or even the year to date, we've really seen this was a bottom here in April. And ever since it's been pushing up, and it's quite a bullish outlook because we see it bounce right here on this SMA. It bounced recently, and now again it pushed up to what is 1125 right here. So yeah, absolutely, you can't even see it on the chart. But if we look on the 1 week, you can see pushed up to 1125 after hours today. So we kind of saw this coming technically. If we look at the technicals, we also were very bullish on the robotaxi event. A couple things. Some people have said that ChatGPT or OpenAI would be the main reason why Tesla would succeed with their robots, but that's really not the case, right? They're actually planning to use NVIDIA. And NVIDIA, just to give you guys the health of NVIDIA, we know they've been absolutely crushing it in the AI boom this year. But when we were looking at South Korea's SK Hynix, which is the largest memory chip makers, they posted a quarterly profit. They're absolutely crushing it compared to what was expected. Their quarterly revenue has grown by 94%. Why does this matter? This isn't NVIDIA. Why are you bringing this up, Will? Well, the reason is because that is just clear indication. What do we always do when we're trying to identify good investments? We look at what everybody's talking about as a good investment and what all the market's looking at, all the investors, but then who's supplying for that company that is critical to their success. So NVIDIA is really critical to Tesla's success. They're actually going to be the main GPUs and all of the tech really behind their Optimus robot, right? So to look at NVIDIA and then say, let's look at the suppliers for NVIDIA and how is the health of NVIDIA, and we can see right here, again, absolutely looking good. They said that they really capitalized on the AI boom in the past year, and they're predicting that the trend for the demand for their chips is going to be continuing into next year. Other thing, we looked out on the Dow Jones. We had kind of a trend up here on Tesla consistently as they are looking back the past really year to date, and it looks good. But when we look, again at the NASDAQ, look at NASDAQ, we've seen it slowly rallying up. Really what they're talking about is the moving averages. We've seen them push back up above the moving averages. A lot of people are saying, are we going to see continued sell-off after this was a really big push up back in June or July, and then we had another push up on Tesla in September, and then it really pulled back here And people are saying, are we going to see bullish or bearish movement? As if we look on the charts, it moved below that SMA, the moving average. And that's always something that, you know, you got to look at. If we're trying to identify the trends, a lot of times that will act as resistance. The RSI, though, I mean, it was looking very oversold. The MACD was oversold. We really were looking at a trend here that was quite clearly something. I mean, it's why we have it in our October week 3 watch list this week, and why we talked about Tesla this weekend, is because we were really anticipating this to happen. Is it going to always happen if we anticipate? Of course not. But what we can do is identify trends here, and we can look for that growth that we would see with the patterns. It's not always going to be that way, but we can also look here on the resistance. Oops, wow, that looks crazy. Right, there's a resistance there and a resistance here, and you can see it already broke above that after earnings. So really, we're probably going to see it pull back here tomorrow. I don't know how far. It may continue up, but we're probably going to see it pull back, retest a little bit, kind of balance out after that earnings surge. And then we should see it really stay above the moving average. I'm anticipating, as we talked about earlier this year, we're going to see it push back up to $300 a share is what I'm anticipating. So I'll keep you guys updated on the position. Again, 24% on TSLL, about 12% on Tesla. We capitalized on 1.1%. We don't invest before earnings in most cases, guys, and we don't anticipate these events. I knew earnings was coming. It would have been great to be in before and get, you know, what would have been 24% gain, but you can't really, you can't look to, the same thing could have happened the other direction. That's why we don't invest based on just events, because this is the robotaxi event. If you would have really looked forward to the robotaxi event, doing something awesome, and then invested right before the event, then you would have lost all that money, right? You would have lost 10% or more. And then we saw it sell off. Again, you know, it's one of those things. So didn't get in before, but we were able to confirm a positive earnings and then capitalize on some of the earnings after the fact. I'm happy with 1.1% on the day, especially today. We were traveling from Medellin to Miami. It was quite the traveling day. So to still be up 1.1% and have a profitable day while traveling, we got a lot going on. So, you know, it's just one of those things. For those of you guys that would like to learn how to invest in quality companies like Tesla, Google, we got Rocket Lab. We're talking about some of the AI and tech booming companies that I believe are what make up a crash-proof portfolio in 2024. Then I would encourage you guys to check out, simply take a look at StockMate. It's the second link in the description if you guys would like to really take your investing to the next level. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.